Hello and welcome once again aboard JulieCity. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining me in today's video. You're highly appreciated. Yeah, today is a really sad story that I'm going to be sharing of how Nigeria and Nigeria's medical system has failed the citizen again. Honestly, I am so pained. That's because it has touched my heart. Now, this beautiful lady here, she only turned 28 in the month of March. Yeah, she has passed. And what happened? That's because Nigeria failed her as a Nigerian citizen. Nigeria failed her. Not only did Nigeria fail her, Nigeria failed her baby that was not allowed to see the light of today, even though she was ready to be born. Please, just sit down and listen to me. Watch right through to the end. Please, I beg you, share this video. Let this young woman's life not just go for nothing. If there's one thing I have to do for my beautiful sister-in-law who is late now, is to use my platform to share her story. Because if she had a voice, I know she will speak. But unfortunately, she can't speak or tell her story any longer because Nigeria and its medical system has failed her and failed her unborn child. So my sister-in-law was 37 weeks pregnant and due to be delivered. 3 weeks ago, or 3 weeks before her passing, depending on when you're going to be watching this video, she rang me very early in the morning to say she went for antenatal visit and she was told she had protein in her urine. Immediately, I asked her, what were you told? She said she was told nothing. I said, what did the doctor say? She said nothing. I'm shocked because having protein in the urine signifies something that rings alarm bell in the ears of every midwife or obstetrician. So that your doctor said nothing and asked you to go home and come back in 2 weeks' time, even when you're 34, 35 weeks pregnant, doesn't make sense to me. I did encourage her to go back and ask. However, they decided to seek a second opinion and a third opinion. Those results she sent forward to me and they all looked clear and they told her everything was fine and her blood pressure was fine. Now, if you have to know, because I need to create awareness through this girl's death, if you have protein in your urine as a pregnant woman, please don't overlook it. Ask the doctor to make a plan for you because that could be indicating that you have gestational hypertension, and protein in the urine might actually be a sign of things getting not too good, and that might lead to preeclampsia, which is what you don't want, and other complications that can arise from all of that. So it's something that the doctor needs to make a plan. Nigeria's health system or obstetric system is obstetric led, so the doctor makes the decisions, not the midwife per se. And so I was a bit alarmed and a bit upset that the doctor just sent her home and told her to come back in her routine antenatal visit, that her blood pressure was fine. But that is not acceptable. You might be thinking, why are you saying this? If you know me, I'm a midwife and I practice in the UK as a nurse on the neonatal unit and as a midwife. So I'm not talking from the blue. I know what I'm talking about. So I asked her to go back. She and her husband decided to seek second and third opinions in different places. They were told there was no protein at all in the urine, and the last time was 2 days before her passing. She did send the results of those ones to me. They looked clear. So I asked her when she was going to be seeing her or going for her antenatal again. She said it was the next day. That was the day before her death. So I think the last words I said to her were like, oh, hopefully it aligns and then you can take it up from there. But make sure you ask him for a plan, no matter what. I'm not there, so she has to follow her medical practitioner. All you can do is support from here. So I didn't hear from her all day and I assumed everything went okay. 9 o'clock the next day I was at work and I received this shocking test of my life that turned my life upside down and turned the life of my family upside down. My brother sent me a message to say my wife and the unborn baby are both dead. I'm like, what? Imagine me on a long day shift, 9:30, I went to have breakfast, and I literally was, when I saw his message, I thought, oh my God, he's breaking the news. They've had a baby. Maybe the doctor decided to operate on her. But then I saw this crying emoji, and for one moment, I was completely lost. I couldn't make out why he had a crying emoji. And then for another split second, I thought, oh, did the baby pass? And then I read that message for the third time and realized that, oh my God, mother and baby dead because she went into labor. Like, I can't even begin to tell the story. But my world collapsed at work, and I want to appreciate my colleagues who were able to support me through those 3 days. The most intense days I've had in my career were those days. Now, I'm so annoyed because she's not the first person. We are taking things for granted because the system is not working. Nigeria and its leadership is not working because if the leaders are in line, they'll be able to put a system in place that works. Now, this lady had a previous cesarean session and high blood pressure was an issue. So she's having what we call a VBAC, so vaginal birth after a cesarean session. And that is an alarm bell. Usually, they are closely monitored. I'm talking of a place where the system works here in the UK. You're closely monitored. In fact, some doctors want to play so safe that they will just tell you that you will be going for a cesarean session. You will not be allowed to get into labor. But the only thing, they will just monitor your blood pressure and make sure they push you towards term, which is 36, 37 weeks to 42. Usually, they will not allow you to go late in pregnancy. As soon as you hit 36, 37 or 38 max, they get that baby out before you go into labor or things get out of hand. That was the plan I was expecting that doctor to put in place when he tested protein in her urine, but he didn't. He sent her home and told her to stay for 2 weeks. Yes, she went to other places. They were clear. Nevertheless, it didn't stop there. So Wednesday, she was meant to have antenatal. Like the story was told to me, I'm going to get my brother to speak for himself in my next video. So please watch out for that, to tell his own side of the story, because I don't want to do hearsay. They got to the antenatal, or they were told that the appointment was cancelled, that the whole antenatal session has been cancelled. That is, the doctor, did not know that she's already gone to seek second and third opinion. So he left her, he discharged her from antenatal 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks later, when she's meant to come for appointment, he had his personal things to sort out. So he cancelled an antenatal visit. That is ridiculous. Yes, I'm a healthcare professional and I work with loads of doctors as well. If you decide to open a clinic, you have to look for backups, because lives are depending on you. Yes, we all have personal issues that we have to go and solve. Like that doctor, he had something important that he had to go and solve. My issue is that women are depending on him, and he should have put an alternate doctor in place to look after his women while he was away. So my sister-in-law ended up not seeing him because the appointment was cancelled. Guess what? Her blood pressure was on the high. Out of frustration and labor was progressing, they decided to go to a different hospital. Apparently, in quotes, this was meant to be one of the trusted hospitals. But the Nigerian thing happened. She wasn't attending antenatal there. So, for one, it's like taboo. If you're not attending antenatal there, they walking in, you have to go through the procedure, irrespective of the fact that it's an emergency. Anyway, by the story told, she got out of the taxi by herself in severe, quotes, labor and labor pain, got in the wheelchair, and she was wheeled into the hospital. And suddenly, labor became really intense. Longer story short, Dr. Chetan decided that it was getting worse and he can't handle her. Went out to call her husband that was waiting for her outside to come and take her to another hospital. And that's another area that actually hits hard It's meant to be a big, unique hospital. So if it's getting worse, her blood pressure is getting worse, there's a doctor there. Why did they not operate? Now, I'm not going to teach them their job. But the other thing about Nigeria, why I blame Nigeria and its medical system, is the fact that you, the patient, and the family of the patient will have to take an intensely sick woman, an emergency, to a different hospital. You have to do the transfer, not with an ambulance, with a regular car to a different hospital. And when you get there, you won't be in a hurry because you have to follow protocol, fill out card and all of that. All this time is going. Anyway, if you're in Nigeria, you know what I'm talking about. She got into the hospital and time was going. Before you knew it, she passed away. And it still did not occur to these people that, okay, we've lost one. Can we not lose the other to open her up and get the baby out? No. Nobody did anything. They broke the news to her husband and told him to go deal with it. I know this is not a news story to every Nigerian, but it has to stop. And it will start with us to make a change. So this lady died out of medical negligence and the system that does not work, the awful system of medicine and the leadership that we have in Nigeria. And this is not acceptable. I know what would have been done here. Yes, it's critical. Yes, it's possible. There's a chance that somebody might die. But let me tell you, before a pregnant woman dies with her unborn baby inside, you know that hospital has stood still. They've pushed. But in this case, nobody did anything. Nobody was in a hurry to save a life of a 28-year-old young lady with a 3-year-old that will never ever get to see his mother again.
Look at my sweet son right here. Next, this is where you write. He's writing F by himself. Cross it. Good boy. Next.
So you know exactly what to do.
Oh my son. Cross it. Good boy. Clap for so boy. So clap for yourself. Good boy.
To open her up and get the baby out. No. Nobody did anything. They broke the news to her husband and told him to go deal with it. It wasn't an option. It wasn't an emergency for a child. Who knows? That child could be the savior of Nigeria. But she was not allowed to see the light of the day. She was smothered inside her mother's womb. Because at the end of the day, autopsy showed that the uterus ruptured. And that is something that could happen when somebody is having a VBAC. That is why they are monitored. She didn't get the care that she needs, so my sister-in-law passed. Please, if you or your family member has suffered or you can relate to this story, please leave your comments in the comment section. Yes, the change will start with us, and only when we speak out will it happen. Let somebody not tell me that it is her time or God knows. Christ himself will be weeping because he has given us power. He has given us the capability to make a change, but we're not using it. The leadership, the system is not working for his people. I'm not talking of a country that is poor. I'm talking of Nigeria is wealthy. We are blessed. But look at where we are. A lot of us are outside. That's what the leadership and the system has caused. And to think that a lot of the countries that are doing well are being supported by Nigerians. Yes, in the science, in the health, in the aviation, research, just name it. Nigerians are behind. So when we come out to the abroad, we are effective. But when we're at home, everybody does what they like. Why? That's because a system is not working. This is not the first time I'm losing a sister-in-law to medical negligence. 10 years ago, yes, I had one who had a cesarean section. Everything appeared fine. A few hours later, she started having internal bleeding. And the poor lady was crying, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding, I'm bleeding. I think I'm dying. The system that doesn't work does not have an opportunity to support her, does not have the capacity to deal with postpartum hemorrhage. And she kept crying, I'm dying, and she passed away. Yeah. And I know loads of Nigerians can relate to this. I think it becomes a normal thing. We normalize the fact that it's possible for women to die, that women die, yes, out of pregnancy or during labor. I'm not saying it's not possible, but things have moved on in developed world where system is working. It's not because we don't have the resources, it's because of mismanagement and negligence. So it is time for it to stop. We have to speak up. Again, if you can relate with this story or you have a story yourself of medical negligence, please share it in the comment section. Let's create awareness. Please share this video for me. Give us some peace. Help us to find peace and closure for this beautiful lady who has left us, that we'll never see again, not on earth. She doesn't deserve it. She didn't deserve to die. Her husband didn't deserve to lose his wife. And her son didn't deserve. Her 3-year-old son didn't deserve to lose his mom. And that poor unborn child that we'll never know passed away, smothered in her mommy's womb, because adults, because a system that was meant to help her did not. I'm going to be speaking to the medical professionals. Again, I will say it. Please, if you're starting up a clinic and you cannot have a second that will be in your place when you are off or attending to your personal thing, then it's not acceptable. Because these people are depending on you to look after them. In fact, there's a big divide in Nigeria when it comes to health. There's this other area or this other class that the hospitals are well equipped beyond measure, like beyond equipment that you will see they have it. But then if you walk in there, they charge an arm and a leg. The average even cannot afford it. How? There's no medical insurance because the system does not have that. So will people just continue to die? We will allow our people to just continue to pine away and to be taken away untimely if we don't do something. Nothing will change. And do you know what the adage says? That things get worse because good men did nothing. Bad people triumph because good ones did nothing. So please, let's speak out and make a change. And if you're a medical professional watching me, whether a nurse or a doctor, or you have your own clinic, be a bit more attentive. Yes, I know the system is not working, but you can make a difference. I'm not saying that all of them are bad. People are doing great. But what I'm saying is that a lot of the times, there are too many. Do you want me to tell you? Can I even tell you that when I had my second baby, that she nearly bled out? If not that I observed it in the middle of the night, I wouldn't have had a daughter. Why? From her umbilical cord, she was bleeding. It was a Sunday. The doctor does not sit on Sunday. So it's only the nurses, and all the equipments were locked up in the doctor's office. There was no cord clamp. So my daughter's umbilical cord had to be wrapped up with string. And obviously she was still leaking. One of those mommy's instincts, I decided to look at her in the middle of the night. There was no light. I took up a lamp in the hospital. A few hours after she was born, I picked up a lamp just to admire my beautiful, gorgeous girl. And while I decided to unravel her from the swaddle, only to observe that my whole baby vest was soaked in blood, her own blood. So, yeah, that's a testimony. But can I even... Too many things. Look, I'm not talking about mistakes. I'm talking about negligence. I'm talking about a system that is not working. Our system is not working for us. We come out here and excel. A lot of people, like I said, who are abroad, practicing in their different fields, including health, are excelling. Nigerians are behind a lot of success stories, whether in business, in health, and otherwise. But in our own country, things don't work. Not because we do not have the resources, but because our leaders do not care. And of course, people get away with a lot of things, so they don't care. There's a lot of negligence. We'll never see her again. Sadness. We've been thrown into sadness. It's been a hard 1 week for me. I've had to take time off. Because how could I have known that on Tuesday was the last time I will ever hear her voice or speak to her? I couldn't have known. It never crossed my mind. Look at her, full of life.
We are done with the days of good Nigerians, and we are returning back to Owowo right now.
Bubbling, waiting to joyfully welcome her daughter. That daughter didn't see the light of the day. Mommy is not here to even look after her 3-year-old. Please, let's not keep quiet. Things cannot continue like this. A change has to happen in Nigeria. So the next time you are asked to vote, please don't throw your vote just because of a loaf of bread. Because those people will not know you. When the chips are down, you will be on your own. So when you're voting, vote with your conscience. In that seat you're occupying, whatever seat it is, make sure you put your conscience and compassion on it. Because if you cut corners, it will come back. Today is my turn, it's my family morning. You don't know who it will be tomorrow. If we don't bring about change, make decision to make change happen, it will continue like this. It is not acceptable. Yes, we are abroad. You say, what's my concern? I'm abroad. Yes, but I have loved ones in Nigeria. And we are tired. I'm speaking on behalf of everyone that is living abroad. I'm sure they can relate. Let me hear from you in the comment section. If you're living abroad and you have family in Nigeria, we are tired of sad stories that touch the heart. Simple things. Simple things that can be changed, especially medically. They will become a source of sorrow. Our loved ones are not safe. Everyone cannot come abroad. So if we leave them behind and we are here, we want to have peace because we are scared. If they say they have malaria, we are worried because we don't know what you prescribe for them. Even when they prescribe for them, they go to the pharmacy. We don't even know what they will get, whether it's chalk or paracetamol. That's how bad it is. So we are worried. We always worry sick of our loved ones. But if you don't speak, nothing will happen. So it's time for us to speak up. And I pray that her soul will rest in peace. And we will find closure. Yeah, we will live. We have life, but we will not be quiet. A change has to happen. Thank you so much. Please help me share this video. Please, let's use this. Let's just use this to console my family. Let's use this to console her husband and her son, who does not even understand. I'm sure he's still expecting his mommy to come back home. But that's not going to happen. I can't even begin to tell you tons of things. Stories untold. Please share in the saturate that comment section with stories so that people will understand that we're not just sitting here and making noise. It has to stop. People should feel safe when they go to hospital. People should feel safe to walk around. Even now, 6 p.m., you can't walk around anymore. Again, what is the matter? We have the resources. Nigeria is blessed with everything that we need to live a better life. But look at us. We are everywhere and anywhere. In fact, it's just too much. The medical negligence is just too much. This has to stop. That's not the way it works. For a country that values its citizen and values the life of its people, this is not how things will go, and it should not continue. Come to health, problem. You come to education, problem. You come to safety, problem. There's like what part of the system is working? Please, somebody educate me in Nigeria. People are learning to survive hard. That should not be so. For a country that is blessed, that's not acceptable. And as a citizen, our citizens, if you refuse to speak up, if you refuse to act, if you refuse, change starts with somebody standing up. And I'm standing here to say enough is enough. And if you do not speak out, they will think it's just this grieving person who is making noise. But I know that I'm not alone. It is a common experience. So let's saturate the comment section with the stories of woe that Nigeria's system and its government has put us through. Because the leadership, they go abroad to get treatment. Yes, they come here and we give them treatment. So they feel secure. They don't care about what is happening to the masses. Everyone has their life and the life of their family in their hands. You see, that is too expensive. Those ones who are equipped and know what they are doing is too expensive. Or people just get away with everything. Nobody will ask questions. There won't be inquiry. There won't even be an incident report. Yes, here, when things like this happen, there will be full investigation. Hey, well, it won't be business as usual. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm putting all this, but it's just, you can't even understand the amount of pain, grief this has cost us. Till I see you next time, please take care of yourself. Don't forget, your health is your wealth. Thank you so very much. Like I said, I'm going to be putting her husband up to speak out and tell us the full details of what happened. Tell us exactly his experience and what led to the passing of his beautiful wife. How could she have known? How could she have known